Good morning. So today, all you lovely listeners, I'm talking to a lady called Ildico, and Ildico does something really special. So I'm going to talk to her about that. And I've worked with Ildico, and she is changing my life completely. So take note, people. So Ildico, tell us about yourself and your business, what you do.
Good morning, Beth, and good morning, listeners. Thank you very much for having me on today and the opportunity to talk about my business. And yes, absolutely, I'd love to share with you what I do, because it is, as Bev said, very different to anything else out there. So my business is called Retuning Your Business. And I work with business owners specifically. I specialise with working with business owners to get you out of your ruts in your mind that are preventing you from achieving and reaching those goals within your business that you're kept up at night sleepless about how you're going to actually achieve those. So my system that I use is a personal and self-empowerment system, which can be applied really to any activity or part of our lives. But I'm passionate about working with business owners because, of course, I'm a business owner myself. So I have been through all the stress, all the pain, and out the other side. And I can tell you can come out the other side. So my sessions with business owners are specifically arranged around getting out of blocks. Now, it's whether it's a mental block or an emotional block, that's what I focus on. So an example would be, seeing as we are talking, and this is a communication piece, for somebody, for instance, who has got a business but cannot get up at a networking meeting and speak about themselves and their business because they just shut down. They're terrified, and you know the scenario, I'm sure, where it's coming around the table and you know you're going to be up next. Counting down, aren't you? 5 people. Oh my God. 4 people. 3. Oh God, I've forgotten everything about my business.
Every person I speak to has that story. That same story.
Exactly. So, it comes to you and then it just all goes pear-shaped, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So that would be an example of working with the mental blocks. And when I say mental blocks, I mean the self-limiting beliefs that we handicap ourselves with and trip ourselves up with. And the emotional triggers, so the anxiety, the fear, the frustration. And with the system that I've developed, and by the way, I'm the founder of this system, and you can see the banner behind me actually has the logo and strapline, Read, Apply, Solve. So this is my system called Life Retuning. And I apply it, it's a very accurate way of switching off negative emotions, twisting round 180 degrees, self-limiting beliefs that are blocking us within our business. So really that's what I do.
And I have to say, it really is like retuning. Sometimes I feel like a harp that's gone a bit discordant. And Ildico pulls my little strings and gets me working lovely. So what got you interested in this field? Because this, is something, as you said, quite unique.
Yes, well, where I started was not where I've ended up, that's for sure.
How many of us do?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, it's the usual story. But my story starts with the fact that I wanted to be a fashion or textile designer. And I was fully prepared that I would be going into that field and producing beautiful fabrics for furnishings.
Wow.
Around the world. And then the universe and life intervenes. And at 24 years old, I actually crashed and burnt because I had a nervous breakdown.
Oh.
So really, my breakdown was my breakthrough, because I was in hell for 7 years. High levels of anxiety, well, I would say panic and anxiety, attacks all the time, every day. I was really existing from hour to hour, and I would say actually the word surviving would be more appropriate here. And well, the old maxim is, isn't it, that pain is the greatest motivator. Mm-hmm. And we can do without pleasure. but we can't cope with pain endlessly.
Yeah.
So that pushed me into investigating a way out of that severe mental and emotional pain, and it was affecting me physically as well. My life completely narrowed and shut down.
Yeah.
24 years old, when you have no hope and nowhere to go in your life, that is utterly debilitating. And I can't tell you the levels that I sunk to with my mood, my general mood. So really, I started looking into alternative therapies. Initially, it was aromatherapy. I actually did a diploma in clinical and holistic aromatherapy.
Mm-hmm.
I did Reiki 1 and 2, Indian head massage. I investigated all sorts of things, as you do, and I couldn't for 7 years find an answer to pain until I came across energy psychology, which was the one thing that started working for me. Now, when I say energy psychology, I'll mention thought field therapy, which is the original energy psychology developed by Dr. Roger Callahan, who was a clinical psychologist himself, and he spent 25 years developing the procedures. I became a top international trainer with them after I qualified, because I found that it was so life-changing. However, after 7 years, 7 years ago, I found that with my clients, I was not getting the level of results that I wanted. And I'm a very driven person.
Cheers, lady.
Yes,
Cheers.
I am. So my drive was really telling me, okay, this was great so far as it goes. Now it's over to you. So what are you going to do, girl?
Yeah.
And that's when I started looking into quantum physics for my answers. So quantum physics completely consumed me, but I wasn't reading it for the theoretical approach. What I was doing was I was reading it and then applying the principles into my own life. Mm-hmm. And what I discovered is that quantum physics runs us on a daily basis. And it's nothing to be scared of. It is how things are. Now, if I just dip into that briefly, because obviously this is not a forum for going into a massive talk about it.
I'm feeling a little silly about quantum physics at the moment.
Yeah, at the start, you kind of think, my God, what am I getting involved in? And then it pulls you in, because, I'm a restless spirit. I like to know about everything.
Yeah.
So it really drew me in. I have a scientific based mind, and so for me it fitted very well. I started learning about energy, and the quote that started me off was Albert Einstein's quote that everything is energy and that's all there is to it. There is no matter. Now, when you take that quote and you think about it, it really starts messing up your head, because you start thinking, well, what do you mean there's no matter?
Yeah.
Everything that's around me is matter, so it's physical, I can touch it. What does that mean? Well, I started discovering that, in fact, everything is made up of wave frequencies. And the only reason that the table I'm sitting at and chairs you're sitting on feel like physical entities is because they're vibrating at a similar frequency of energy as your physical body. So you experience it as a physical entity. However, your thoughts, your emotions are all energetic and vibrational frequencies too. Mm. So that means, because everything is energy, everything is linked entirely, and we are entirely made up of these vibrating strings, if you like. So what I do is I use these vibrations to change states of being and perception. Because if, say, anxiety is a vibrational state, it has a particular Hertz frequency. So if I change that Hertz frequency from anxiety's frequency to something else, it's no longer anxiety.
Right.
That's really how I work in the structural and the practical sense.
Okay.
And I found that the more that I was employing these quantum physics laws and finding they were actually proving to be true in my life, the more excited I got.
Yeah.
And the more I wanted to develop, and the more I wanted to use my own system as my laboratory of experimentation, if you will.
Yeah.
So over 7 years, I developed a whole structure and procedure of how to use energy to change our states of emotion, mental states, even physical states, which then unlock and open us up to the higher level possibilities of our expectations.
Yeah.
So raising the ceiling, and the more we raise the ceiling, the more we realize that we are these magnificent entities that are squashed down into a little illusion of a body, and it's not that at all. We have control really over everything in our lives, and we create our reality. Now, I found this hugely exciting and empowering. So I just started going hell for leather, working with my clients with this new system approach, which eventually coalesced into what I now call life retuning. But a few years ago when, words hold power. So I won't say the word that everybody associates with what happened with the economy. I will say that when we had the economic challenge a few years ago, I was hearing the most horrendous stories owners about how they were barely able to put food in their families' mouths and keep a roof over their heads. Now, because I knew that this system was so powerful, I had trialed it already, and I've actually worked with over 1,000 clients over the last 10 years. I knew its possibilities. So I decided that I was going to start helping business owners, because I passionately believe that it's small business that is going to actually make the difference with the economy. Yeah. Because we are flexible. We can change from one day to the next. If something doesn't work, we're already on to the next thing. Big business doesn't have that luxury. And so therefore, I absolutely support to the hilt the SMEs, the solopreneurs, and we'll come on to, I'm sure, talking about where I'm specializing now. But really, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I'm utterly passionate about the results that I get with my clients, because they really are phenomenal. Every day, I'm so blessed, because every day I see people stepping out of pain, out of their blocks, and becoming those empowered, incredible people who are on purpose and they're on fire, which is fantastic for me.
So if anybody wants any proof that knowing your stuff and loving it creates passion through the screen, this is it. This is what it looks like. Because Ildico knows what she does. Key to everything. So do you find that people, when they first sort of come across you and you talk about this, think it's a bit out there, a bit woo-woo? How do you change their minds?
You know, number one, I don't do fluffy woo-woo. I do not do
fluffy woo-woo.
So that's already, you know, out of my vocabulary, because what I do is based on quantum physics. It's based on experiments that go back to the 1960s into consciousness and energy that are provable, because they have been trialed. You know what scientists do? They trial experiments over and over again, and what their intention is to disprove the previous. So when you're doing double-blind experimentation with these kind of parameters, and it's been proved time and time again in different laboratories all over the world, there is only one conclusion you can come to, and that this is the way things are. So anybody who says to me, oh, well, that's a load of rubbish, isn't it? I'll say to them, oh, so you know about Dr. Fritz Alfred Popp and his experimentation into bioelectricity, do you? Because my answer is, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
You cannot have an opinion about what you don't know about. So I also have ways of showing people how energy works within their system, and it comes with a warning. And the warning is, are you up for your head and your life being turned upside down within the next 5 minutes? If you are, great. If you're not, I'm not having this conversation with you. And that's how I do it.
And I have to tell you this, because I go back to this every time. I met Ildico for a one-to-one. We met over a table once. I'm willing to prove Ildico, I'm one of those people, prove her wrong. Over a cup of coffee, she performed magic on me. I can only call it magic, because it's a bit like the car. I don't know how it goes, but it works. And I'll never forget it, because I was ready to go, no, trust me, you have to talk to Ildico. So you have a really impressive bio, you've got lots of experience, and you've got a lot of life experience that I have only just found out about. So how easy from not so much about the stuff you talk about, because you know that inside out, but just that getting up and talking to a crowd of people, how do you find that experience?
You know, Bev, when I first started giving talks, which was probably about 15 years ago now, I couldn't say boo to a goose. I was utterly terrified. I was the kind of person who, in a social group, if there were 4 of us, I would shut my mouth because I didn't feel my opinions were value or valid. So I have turned that with the energy work into being able to speak. I mean, I'm going to be giving my first live global teleseminar in 2 months' time. And I have to say that the only thing that I'm thinking is I just want to get up there and do it, because I know people's lives are going to be changed even by the teleseminar, let alone what they may very well go on to do afterwards. My passion drives me. I want people to realize that there's more to their lives than what they're being told or what they have been brainwashed into thinking. So it doesn't even, I don't even clock it for 5 seconds to say, oh God, I've got this terrible anxiety. I might, look stupid in front of people. The things I do look stupid in front of people. I don't care.
On Paul Key the other day, tapping all sorts, yes.
Oh, because if somebody comes and says, well, what are you doing? I'll say, let's have coffee, let's sit down and I'll explain to you what I'm doing. So that's my attitude. Spread the word and spread the information.
Now, you, Ildico, and honestly, listeners, you've got to take this on board. You speak to make whoever's listening's lives better. So you've actually got over yourself. I say to a lot of clients, just get over yourself. It's not about you. It's about the message you're giving and you wanting to help your clients. And that works because suddenly you can't worry about yourself. You've got to worry about the clients you're passionate about helping. So you've told us a bit about the first time, when you first started speaking and the nerves and all the rest of it and things. And when you started to manage those nerves, was it an overnight thing? Because I've done this work with you and almost overnight I've got past some big issues. So, or did you have to wait until you sort of developed this thing and they go, oh, that'll help me get over the nerves?
Well, yeah, in a way it was. I developed life retuning to a certain extent and I thought, you know what, this is really stupid. You know how to get over this. You know how to just completely wipe out the nerves and everything. Why don't you do it? So it's a no-brainer, really. I had a talk coming up and I thought, do you really want to deal with those nerves again this time around? Nope. So I just dealt with it and I treated myself. And just switched off all of the nerves.
Good. Now, we're in a modern technology world, so we use a lot of online stuff and webinar and video. And to go back 15 years, those sort of things were probably not really available as much as they are today. So how did you find that transition? Because it is slightly different, isn't it, when you're doing webinar and video?
It is. And again, I have to say, I used my own tools to get over anything that was worrying me about, well, how am I going to look? What are people going to think? Am I going to talk a whole load of rubbish and people are going to write in and say, wash tomatoes and stew, So I suppose, and it might sound trite, I don't mean it trite, I don't actually care. Because those people who are meant to hear my message are going to be the ones that are listening to me. I actually trust the universe that those people are going to be there. I mean, I had one one talk I gave, I'll just share with you, a couple of years ago in a sports hall. I didn't know who I was going to be talking to, who my audience was. I just showed up on faith. It was one of these healing fairs. And I turned up, went into this effectively a schoolroom and sat there. And for 5 minutes, nobody turned up. And then 2 people turned up, a very old lady and her partner who was deaf. So they said, well, we've come all the way from wherever it was, Devon or something or other. And I said, what, to listen to me? Sorry, who are you, dear? And I thought, right, but nevertheless, I'm here. And I'm meant to be doing a job which is passing on information. So that's what I'm going to do. And I had an audience of 2, and I still gave a professional talk to them.
Yeah.
I, who couldn't hear, wandered out halfway through. So I was left with 1 in the audience, but I still gave it. Yeah. Because you never know how far down the line something, the pebble that you've dropped in that water, how far those ripples go.
Yeah.
And somebody says, oh my goodness, I heard something about that 2 weeks ago at this talk.
Yeah.
And they look it up and it actually helps their lives. It's not up to us. It's not up to us how we affect people. It's up to them. And we've just got to place ourselves where we are meant to be, open ourselves up and say, hey, I'm here.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. Because a lot of people will talk to me, especially about webinars and video, that, oh, no one's listening, no one will turn up. And like Ildico, I have done webinars with nobody there. Yes. But you still do it because, you know, I've got a piece or a product, or I passed on information, or someone might pick it up. So absolutely right. And again, get over yourself, ladies.
And I'd like to take it down to speaking on the energy level.
Yeah.
The intention that you put into anything you do is the resonance that goes out to the world, and it will be carrying that resonance far and wide. So make sure whatever you're doing, you put the most positive intention into it, and you will get positive back.
Excellent. And that was actually the next question, about what advice would you give to women who hate public speaking. So now what I want you to tell us about is anything you've got going on at the moment that we need to let. Because I'm passionate about you ladies ringing Ildico, I have to tell you now. So yeah, I'm biased.
Well, I'd love to have a conversation with any of you who would like to know more about the life retuning, and especially how I work with business owners, because really, you know, I'm really passionate about helping you out of whatever mental block or emotional block you've got, and getting you to achieve and realize those dreams and goals that you have. And everybody does have them, but a lot of people think, oh, well, it's just a pipe dream, it will never happen.
Yeah.
No, it won't if it stays in your head. So do something about it. Get proactive. Take imperfect action. I've got a coach I work with, and he always says, take imperfect action. And that's a really good piece of advice. Don't sit there and get into analysis paralysis. Just do it. Take imperfect action, because you've got to start somewhere. So what I'd like to share is that, yes, I am going to be giving a teleseminar on the 27th of September. There is a MailChimp sign-in or opt-in link which will be available. And it's going to be giving you tips and advice about teaching points that I use with my clients to a very high level of effectiveness, which you will already get within that teleseminar. You'll also get the opportunity of finding out how you can go deeper with me, and find if, you know, it's a good fit for you. But I really highly recommend, because you've got nothing to lose at all, nothing to pay, nothing to lose, to plug in, listen to me, and find out more about how I specifically work with business owners like you. I am concentrating most specifically on a niche, a particular niche. So if this is you, please don't even hesitate.
Yeah.
I'm looking at ecopreneurs. Now, these are those of you out there who are utterly passionate about the environment and social, the social benefits that can be brought into what is, quite frankly, a complete mess at the moment. we need you. Not just me, the whole world needs you. So if you've got a product, a service, a great idea, and you are not expressing it right now, you're hiding your light under your bushel, I'm telling you right now, there's no excuse, because people need what you have. So please find the means of unlocking and getting that product, service, or idea to a place where it's a sustainable business. And this is what the teleseminar that I'm giving is all about. So it's full of lots of goodies for you.
Okay, and I will be sending the link. Well, the link will be with this, or if not, if it's not ready, I will personally be sending out any information I can to all of you. All of you on my email list and everywhere else. So you will be probably fed up with my face going, join, join, join. So
thank you very much, Bev. I really
it's okay. So thank you so much for giving up your time to talk to us.
Not at all. I'm delighted.
I just love the passion that comes across. And I'm going to say this again because I'm a bit of a skeptic normally. I've worked with Ildico, still working with Ildico, and she has done things for me nobody else could do. She managed to get in this head, and that's an odd thing to do. So if you only pick up a phone and chat to her, honestly, you won't regret it. So thank you, Ildico, and I look forward to talking to you again soon.
Great. Thank you very much, Bev. Thank you for your time, and thank you for your time, listeners. And take care. Have a fantastic day.
Great.